Hello, everybody. Welcome to our live stream today. Sorry if there's any technical difficulties starting out with the countdown. Don't know what's going on today. One of those days, but really delighted for you all to join us. I am joined by a few guests here today from some organisations that we've been currently working with to support the launch of this new Startup Sprint program, which we're super excited about. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go around, I'm going to let our guests introduce themselves, and then we're going to discuss a little bit of the kind of background as to why we decided to launch this program, some of the benefits that really kind of come from this program, the impact that we're looking to produce, and how you can get involved too. So I'm going to kick off first with Ryan. Ryan, tell us where you're from and why you're with us today.
Cheers, Dan. Thanks for that. Yeah, my name is Ryan Cartwright, and I work for an organisation called the British Business Bank. The British Business Bank is a government-owned economic development bank, and our key priority is to ensure that SMEs of all sizes can access the finance that they need to prosper and grow. My focus is regional. I cover the West Midlands. So it's very much working with organisations like yourself, Dan, and CJ, and other local partners to try and support businesses that are on that kind of entrepreneurial growth journey to scale their business, access the finance that they need to do that. Access to finance is very important in all kind of stages of business growth, and I think it's a key area that we want to improve in terms of the availability of finance, diversity of finance, and also just kind of general awareness of what options are out there for businesses. That's a key part of my role for the West Midlands, and really, really excited to be partnering with yourselves on this new project. Cheers, Dan.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Ryan. CJ, across to you.
Hi, thanks, Ryan. It's a pleasure to be here. I am the founder and director of the Black Pounds Project, CIC. Some of you may have heard of it. We are an organisation that's set up to support Black and diverse communities in accessing business and financial support. So there's a lot of synergy that was created naturally with working alongside Dan and Ryan. I'm really excited with what we're going to be able to do with this. You know, we can't kind of ignore the statistics and the kind of reports that have come out to say that certain communities are not able to access the support or the finance that they need to. So it's about kind of equipping business owners with the resources really to become self-sufficient, but also be able to access what they should be accessing off the back of that, and helping to raise awareness for those communities as well. So really excited to be here and to be a part of this.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, CJ. And last but not least, Omran.
Hi guys, how are you doing? So I'm, as hopefully most of the people watching know, the Chief Operating Officer at Birmingham Enterprise Community. I'm as well startups and founders coach. So working with startups and entrepreneurs basically on a daily basis, and being one of, let's say, being an immigrant, being like newcomers to the country, and as an organization, we are all about this as well. I know the importance of providing access to people from different backgrounds, people who think they might be underrepresented in this industry or ecosystem, or the concept of entrepreneurship and starting your own business. So yeah, looking forward to make sure that we have this channel for those people who would like to start their own businesses, so they can come and access this support and resources available, whether it's like, and three great organizations on the call here. So looking forward to it.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Omran. I think you'll all see from the kind of start of this conversation, three organizations that kind of come together on this shared vision of what we want to achieve, who we want to help. CJ obviously mentioned earlier about kind of recent reports and some findings that have come out that have, I think, backed up what a lot of people have known for a long time. So kind of moving on to that report, Ryan, obviously to give context of BPB and the involvement here, Could you tell us a little bit about the kind of recent report that was put out? Was it last year?
Yeah, cheers, Dan. Yeah, it was back end of last year. It was called Alone Together, and it's still available on the British Business Bank's website. And we do quite a lot of in-depth research around various areas of access to finance. And this report very much focused on kind of barriers that entrepreneurs face when starting up their own business. And it touched on 4 key themes, which were place, so where you were starting up your business and what impact that might have. Ethnicity, so as CJ's touched on, some of the barriers that Black and ethnic minority entrepreneurs might face over and above anybody else. Gender, so the issues that female founders might face versus their male counterparts, and also money, so what your kind of background is, how much money you've got when you decide to start up your business. Have you come from full-time employment? Are you a full-time carer or parent when you've decided to set up your own business? So all these things have an impact about how successful you might be as an entrepreneur. And I think for me, one of the big areas of focus was very much those underrepresented groups, so the female founders and the Black and ethnic minority business owners. So for me, that report really highlighted that there's a lot more work to be done with those underrepresented groups. And I think for me also, I wasn't connected into those groups when that report came out. So I didn't know CJ, and I didn't know some of the other support organisations that are trying to do some good stuff to, educate entrepreneurs from those backgrounds. So it's been a bit of a learning curve for me as well, meeting some of those support organisations. And something like this that we're doing today is a direct follow-on from that report. So a lot of the time people say, well, you do this research, you do this report, so what? What are you going to do on the back of it? And I think collaborative events and things like what we're doing with Birmingham Enterprise Community and the Startup Sprint Programme and the Black Pounds Project really show that actually, we've got people in the region that really want to address this issue. I think it's also important to know what you can address. I can't solve the problem on my own. I'm coming from an access to finance perspective. So it's very much kind of doing the bit that you can kind of address and the bit that you can create impact from. So that report, yes, it's research. Yes, it identifies issues that many people will say, we knew these issues existed already, but it's kind of a baseline of evidence that says, look, this is where you might want to focus your efforts if you're looking to address some of these issues. So for me, it really is around supporting those underrepresented groups. And, a lot of it is not around kind of bringing in new access to finance products, if you like. So not lots more supply of finance. It's more about raising awareness of what's out there already, whether that be, alternative sources of finance or just general business support that people like CJ and yourself offer, Dan, because not everybody knows about this stuff. I think a lot of the kind of people in our world absolutely know about it. They know the right people to speak to, but not every entrepreneur, not every kind of Black person that's wanting to start a business or female that's wanting to start a business are plugged into these networks. And I think that's something that needs addressing. And it's certainly something that is high on my agenda because I'm in the region. I'm based in the West Midlands. I've worked in the West Midlands all my life, and it's trying to support new entrepreneurs in the West Midlands to be as connected as everybody else is. And that research report kind of was the basis for that.
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. And kind of following on from that, CJ, obviously with where the kind of Black Pounds project has come from, I think a great time for you to kind of share that journey, where that's come from, why it happened, why you've set it up, and what brings you here today.
Yeah, so it's really interesting actually because the project, so when the whole George Floyd murder happened, so my background is actually that I work in the arts. I'm a theatre writer and producer. So primarily the work that I do, outside of Black Pounds Project is within that sector. So when the protests were happening, the Black Lives Matter protests, they were right outside my place of work at the Birmingham Rep. So I was thinking, well, that's a bit strange. You've got a massive arts venue here, and you've got people kind of from all different communities saying Black Lives Matter, justice for our business communities, justice for the education and all of this sort of stuff. And I saw people from the Asian community, the white the white community, if you call it that, the Black community, and I thought, are these people who are all kind of championing for this equality and wanting justice in a particular area, are they actually going to come together and actually start to have a conversation, and start to implement something collectively that's going to help create safe spaces to have conversations? Because one thing that I realized was that in the past, when people had tried to engage in certain conversations around Black lives and things like that, people from different communities wouldn't necessarily feel open enough and honest enough to, sorry, not honest isn't the right word. They just wouldn't feel comfortable or feel like the space wasn't there for them to have an opinion on certain things. So one thing that I decided to do was I just said, I'm going to start a fundraising campaign and hopefully bring kind of Midlands regional leaders together to start having conversations about what we feel the issues are that are preventing Black and ethnic minority businesses from moving forwards, and I just called it the Black Pounds Project because I believe it's a project. I believe it's going to take time to create that space and that ecosystem that's actually going to help people to feel comfortable to have conversations and not feel like their job's going to be at risk or any of these things. So that's all it was, really, just starting out as a idea to just get people talking. And then from what I realized was from those conversations with people from different communities, and you can look on the Black Pounds website, you'll see that on our board we have people from everywhere, really. We have a lot of female entrepreneurs and business leaders, and so the conversations, and one thing as well, there's a lot of kind of white British females who have children who are of dual heritage. So they have also wanted to have conversations that they've never really felt, and they felt they could have, and they've kind of thought about the fact that they want the world to be a fairer place for their children, but never necessarily thought like they were the people to kind of head or lead that kind of initiative or that agenda. So like I say, it was first of all just creating that safe space to have conversations, and then I realized that we could actually put something together. We could devise a mentorship program. We could devise safe spaces for the community to come and kind of let us know what their needs are with their businesses, and then from that, it kind of just got a lot of traction. We started getting articles in the chamber. People just started wanting to meet with me, and I kind of really had to brush up on my business acumen then and really kind of accept that I've been put in this role as Black Pounds Project founder CEO, and then we registered it as community interest company, and then off the back of that, there's just been kind of so much resource and value added to it, just from the back of people just understanding that this can be something quite powerful. So we've started off within the Midlands region, and our priority is to get our Midlands businesses to not necessarily then it's like I say, it's going to take time, but we just want people to understand that there is a place for them to go. Because one thing that we identified was that a lot of business owners from certain communities didn't know where to go for business support. So for us, it's about, okay, if we can just get Black Pounds Project to become perhaps a household name within communities that don't typically access or know how to access business support, then we can actually start to signpost and feed into the wider kind of business, they say ecosystem, don't they? So the wider business kind of ecosystem and network. So that's kind of how we came about. It was very kind of just me as a creative person, just wanted to do something positive, and thankfully amazing people came on board and kind of helped to address the needs. And then the reports came out, and we were actually kind of already starting headway in that kind of work. So I started to realize, oh, actually this is a thing. So let's actually just try to address some of the issues now that have already been mentioned now in the reports. So that's pretty much how it came about.
Wonderful. And I think it goes without saying, you guys have done a lot in a short amount of time.
Yeah.
And the key there, that kind of collaboration, working with everyone, welcoming everyone in, is something that, you know, really resonates with us, and I think has been kind of key to some of the stuff that you've done. Omran, obviously kind of expanding then on the Birmingham Enterprise Community's position, why that this is such an important project for us, why we're so excited to collaborate with British Business Bank, but also Black Pounds Project. Wonder if you could share some words on that.
Okay, sorry, it wasn't working first. So, well, you know, when we first started Birmingham Enterprise Community, we were talking about collaboration, not competition, because as Ryan just mentioned, and CJ as well, that there's a lot of support available, and you get surprised of how many people doesn't know about it. Sometimes, like like let's take it to a smaller scale, a university, they would have their own enterprise support office, but still a lot of students wouldn't know that exists, for example. So the projects like this are really important because we get to make the participants and those who are involved and the support available not only from one organization, but the others. So we promote each other. So we fill in any gaps in the support or the roadmap of those entrepreneurs. So they know that there's like British Business Bank, or they know there's like that fund project over there. And it's not only one entity providing that. So I think we need to do more of these projects, and more people need to be involved, because at the end, it is out there, and it is providing support for those like underrepresented entrepreneurs that usually they would feel themselves excluded. But as you know, and we've worked with a lot of those guys, they are the ones who are committed to what they are doing. And they are the ones who put in all the efforts, and they go all in without a safety net. I'm like, I'm doing this, I'm working this, I want to change, I want to do something different, because they know that they might not have as much as the others, and they want to break out of that. They want to know, I'm doing it, I'm putting on the effort, and you can't but support those people. Like it doesn't matter actually when we work, you know, that when we are working with entrepreneurs and startups, when you see someone committed, you can't but help them. You can't like refuse or reject their question or their email or their phone call of like, I need this or that. Whether they are in your program or not, you feel like they are putting in the effort. I can't not be involved. I can't not help them, because they're trying to do something good for themselves and the others. So yeah, looking forward to this project, and yeah, looking forward to see how diverse it is. You know, we already do like the female scholarships since the beginning of our program, and we are really glad of how diverse the cohorts are. Not only because sometimes we get not only people from like the Midlands or just the UK, but you have this like the international aspect of it. So you have people from outside, and it shows that how you can break boundaries. And if you are starting something or you're having your own business, it's not only, you don't have limits. So you can reach anywhere, you can be anywhere. There's no limits on the support you get or the people you work with.
That's awesome. Thank you, Omran. As you can see, everybody on this call is very excited about this project. You know, this is why we do what we do, to support people and to really make things happen. As all three of the kind of speakers have said, it's about taking that action. You know, we can write reports, we can, you know, say, okay, this needs to change, we need to do this. But if we're not actually taking the action, then what's the point in it? So we're really excited about this.
Could I ask the question to Omran, because you made a really good point about collaboration and not competition. Do you think people see it as competition sometimes when we're thinking about collaborating with other business support networks, because they might not necessarily know their own kind of niche selling point or what their specific offering is, and they think that someone else might kind of tread on that turf? Or what?
Guess what is the best solution for this? Is being really honest with each other. So when we started, for example, Birmingham Enterprise Community, we were creating an accelerator, and there was a couple already in the city. What we did we went to the creators of those accelerators and we told them, we're going to create an accelerator, but we don't want to duplicate what you are guys doing. So tell us what you are doing so we can do something different, so we can diverse this support. So who is interested and who is coming for that support is, they are not only, we won't be like stealing those participants from each other, but it's more of making sure that they can move along between all of that available support. And as you are clear of what you're trying to do and be honest of it. So recently it happened, we got like one of the accelerators wanted us to mentor in their program. And it's another accelerator program. So basically they do something similar to us. And right away on the code, like, okay, just to make it clear and we don't have any conflict of interest, this is what we're trying to do. And if this happened, or you feel this is right, what's wrong? So being honest and open about talking about it without hiding behind the, yeah, we're gonna support, we're gonna help, but basically you're afraid. No, show your fear. Okay, show what is concerning you and what you think might concern the other organization. It's gonna make it much easier, and you're gonna have more confidence when you are working together. And no one's gonna feel like, oh, they are like trying to do similar to us, or they are targeting the same beneficiaries, let's say, or users, or target market at the end. So it's basically just keeping that open communications and open channels to just like keep each other in the loop, that this is what we're trying to do. Let's fill in the gaps rather than duplicate the work, because there's a lot of support available and you don't want to duplicate it. Most of the time it's ending up, if I want to start a business, I'm looking at, I'm like, oh, there's X, Y, Z, all of them providing, where shall I go? Which one is the right one for me? But if we can communicate with each other, we can direct those who need the support to the right people. It might be not us, it might be not you, it might be someone else, but create that culture of let's collaborate on it rather than hiding between the doors and not talk about the issue of there might be a conflict of interest.
Yeah. No, that makes complete sense. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Kind of going on to why we're here in terms of the program that we're running, the project, what we're intending to do. Omran, maybe just give us a couple of lines. I'm just conscious of time. I want to leave some space for questions. But in terms of the Startup Sprint program, what it's about, what people get, could you give us a flavour of that? And then kind of afterwards, as well as the Startup Sprint program, these participants are going to get 12 months membership to the Black Pounds project. So after that, after Omran, CJ, could you just kind of tell us what to expect through that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so quickly, the program is basically for those who have ideas in mind, they want to take action on, they want to build a business out of it. We're going to provide you with the infrastructure and the materials that you need to have a successful business. A lot of the startups we are working with, their mistakes later on, it's because they didn't have the right infrastructure at the start. So in the program, we go through first how you have the mindset of entrepreneurs of starting your own business, then understanding your customers more, looking at your value proposition, look at the business model so you can have a profitable business model, looking at the legal and finance, what finance options you have, what are the legal documents you need to have in place, even the simple ones. And then we finish with the MVP, minimum viable product. So how to create something that you can put in the market directly. So basically you come in with an idea and you end up with a business by the end of the program. And that includes access to mentors, whether it's through group mentoring or one-to-one support with the team. Of course, there is more details about it on our page, on our website, birminghamenterprisecommunity.co.uk. So it is a good fit for those who want to explore and start something, whether it's a side hustle or they want to kick off their main thing.
CJ?
Amazing. Yeah. See, that's already tremendous value there. I don't even know if we should be giving all this away, but no, it's all good. It's all part of how we're going to, help the community. That's what it's all about. So with the membership, you'll get the opportunity to advertise your company on a bi-weekly basis via our podcast or YouTube channel. The podcast is currently on Anchor, and it's also on all the kind of major kind of podcast channels. We give you an opportunity to meet with a coach once a month to kind of that's kind of a half an hour session just to help you build confidence and see what you kind of need to do, and all the things that you've kind of gone through on the program, the sprint program, just see that you're able to implement some of those things, and it's just to kind of keep you ticking over really. And we have a few courses available on our website which will be freely available to you to continue on your journey for that 1 year period. You'll receive exclusive discounts on products and services. So we have things like merchandise. We also have social media advertisement as well. So you'll receive a lot of kind of offers and discounts on all of that. So we also will give you. You'll also have access to our kind of alumni network. So all the people that have been through our mentorship program, you can check in with them, and they're all amazing and very supportive as well. They also do this, I can't remember exactly what it's called. They have a group on Instagram where they share and like and comment on each other's posts to kind of raise support and profile each other's businesses. You also get the opportunity to attend training workshops with some of our mentees as well. And also we do Instagram Live as well. So you can also get the opportunity to check in with us on the Instagram Live to our 10,000, 9,800 followers on Instagram. So it's a really good opportunity for you to have exposure and share what you're doing with your business as well. So that's the 1 year membership with us.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. We've been running Startup Sprint for over a year now, but one of the kind of additions we've got this time round, obviously, is with the support of the British Business Bank around that kind of access to finance and the education on that. Ryan, could you just give us a very quick kind of reminder of what the British Bank is for those that don't know, and also how it helps with kind of access to finance for businesses?
Yeah, cheers, Dan. And just to kind of touch on why we're wanting to support this initiative as well, I think. So much kind of value there that Omran and CJ have spoken about. And we're going to support 10 businesses through this program. And I think applications close on Friday, Dan, on the 20th. So yeah, really excited to see what types of businesses we get coming through the program. I think, for me, again, it's that collaboration piece, and a lot of what you guys are doing are setting businesses up to go through more than just that kind of startup phase. Like Omran said, it's to avoid any kind of pitfalls that they might kind of face when they're trying to grow that business and scale that business. And supporting businesses to scale is a big part of what the British Business Bank does. A lot of our investment programs are around that scale up space. So this is very much kind of preparing entrepreneurs and businesses to go on that longer journey to get a really kind of good, successful growth kind of stage of business, of that business journey. So it's really great to hear that support that's on offer. As an organisation, we have a quite unique operating model. So we don't invest or lend directly to SMEs. We put our investments and our funding into people that are actually lending to the SMEs. So we're kind of one step removed. What we're trying to do is create a more diverse lending market. So no matter what type of business you are, no matter what sector you're in, there's a finance solution that will help your business to grow. And the way that we do that is to try and encourage new lenders or give existing lenders, particularly those that are trying to fill gaps in the market, give them a bit more firepower to go out and lend to these growth businesses. So it's very much, finding what the gaps are in the market and trying to plug that from a supply perspective. That's what we've historically done. And we've been very, very good at that. I think my role, which was kind of created a few years ago, was very much away from that supply side and trying to support, as CJ mentioned, the kind of the ecosystem to work better. We've got lots of accelerators, we've got lots of business support programs, we've got lots of alternative finance options in and around the West Midlands, but do people know about them, and are they well plugged into those networks? And I think that's what something like this program will do. It will give them skills, but it also gets them into the right kind of people to support them throughout their kind of business journey, whether it be a mentor, whether it be, a finance provider or an equity kind of investor, whatever it is that business needs, they're talking to the right people. And that was the big appeal for me, was that connectivity into the right ecosystem, I think. And you guys at Birmingham Enterprise Community and CJ as the Black Pounds Project have got that. I'm not connected into those networks. I don't have those contacts that CJ has. So it's kind of linking in with those business support organizations and being transparent about what you're trying to achieve. CJ asked a question earlier about, competition. Is it seen as competition? I think Amran was exactly right. If you're transparent about what you're trying to do, I think there's a place for, lots of accelerators and lots of business support programs to work well together. I have counterparts in other regions of the UK that are, have better formed ecosystems around, early stage finance or angel investment. And that's not because they've got one great angel investment group that is doing loads and loads of investments. They've got lots of angel groups. They've got lots of angels that people can tap into. So I think when you create that ecosystem, it's about lots and lots of options. And I don't think you're ever going to have an accelerator or a business support program that does exactly the same as something else. There's going to be slight nuances. There's going to be different levels of experience, different sector experience, different backgrounds, different life experiences that people can bring and support businesses with. So it is really about being transparent and trying to work together with those organisations. British Business Bank is really focused on doing that from an access to finance perspective, making it easier for any SME to go and get the finance that they need to grow. Because ultimately, that's what we want. We want new businesses starting up. We want to see them scale up. We want to see businesses in the West Midlands kind of really thriving and prospering. And this is kind of the first stage of that, supporting that startup phase. And then hopefully they might engage with one of the British Business Bank's delivery partners who supports with investment or debt finance or equity finance, whatever that might be, maybe now or at a later stage in their business growth journey. But at least they'll know who to speak to. And that's why we've got involved with this really exciting project.
Wonderful. I'm just having a few technical issues on this end. Maybe I'm okay. Maybe I'm not. All right. Could you
cutting a bit? Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, Ryan. Thank you. Yeah. It is indeed well needed support. And to go on with it, Ryan and CJ, why you think they should, whoever is watching us now or who we are looking forward to get involved in this program, why you think they should do it now and apply now? Ryan, would you like to do it?
Okay.
Yeah, CJ.
Go on, CJ.
Are you okay? No problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, it's I believe we're at a very, very interesting time in history, and also an interesting time in the business community. I think people are very open to help. I think you mentioned it earlier, Amran, that people are more kind of inclined to collaborate now than they probably were prior. So that means that when these collaborations are forming, the kind of the wealth of insight and expertise that you'll get now, as opposed to what you would have got maybe a year or 2 years ago, is probably going to be way more, because people have had to almost, everyone's kind of expertise and skill set has really had to become more advanced because of the pandemic and everything that has happened. People have had to really learn and adapt. So the people that have adapted have obviously gained more additional insight that they'd be able to pass on to these business owners that should really be getting involved at this time. I think, I don't know if there is anything else like this that is running in the Midlands region. I think the kind of the fact that the Startup Sprint is an award-winning business support program, the fact that Black Pounds Project is very, very well connected, the fact that British Business Bank are keen to support business owners. I think it just completely makes sense. And if I was a business owner myself running a you know, kind of, well, I do run another business, but that's for another day. But you know, if I did have the time, I would definitely be applying for it myself. So that's why I can definitely vouch for the fact that people should be getting involved with it. I think if they're serious about growing and scaling their business and don't necessarily, you know where to start, the startup, you know, program is definitely for them. So, you know, anyone watching should definitely just get involved.
Thank you so much, CJ. Ryan.
Yeah, that's a good thing about going second. CJ's kind of covered a huge amount of what I was going to say as well. But no, you know, this time, what with the pandemic, I think we've seen a huge rise in people wanting to start their own business. You know, whether that be because they've been furloughed, lost their job, whatever the reason, people are now looking at kind of, well, how do I do this on my own? And, you know, it's really, really difficult. I think when you've never been in this world, you've never been in business support or finance, you know, where do you go? You know, do you sit at home and Google on your laptop? Do you ask a few friends who've set up business? You know, that will get you so far. I think if people are watching this thinking, I'm not quite sure whether this is for me, I'd say just put an application in and see what comes of it. Whether you get accepted into this kind of cohort or not, you know, we will have contacts and we'll be able to support you in whatever area you need support with. But also, you know, organisations like Black Pounds Project and Birmingham Enterprise Community, it's not just about this one programme. You don't just run this programme. There's various other programmes that, you know, these entrepreneurs can move on to. So it is very much kind of putting you on that ladder of support, having a support network around you. You know, somebody referred to it as me. To me, you need to have your own kind of personal board. You know, businesses have boards of directors. You need your own personal board. Who do you want to surround yourself with, that when you've got a problem or an idea, you can bounce off those people? CJ will call them mentors or coaches. You know, that is the right kind of people you need around you. And these kinds of projects, you know, provide that. And I think that is invaluable. And that will go through a business's whole kind of lifetime, I would imagine. If you have a good advisor, a good mentor, you'll stick with them and they'll stick with you. And this is one way of plugging into that. So I think now's a perfect time for all those business entrepreneurs, new business owners that are wanting to set up their own business to really get involved in something exciting.
Thank you so much. To be honest, it's even easier to go third because right now you both covered everything. as you guys mentioned, and at the end, if not now, then when? It's like when, if you have it. And as you said, like a lot of people start noticing that, oh, it's not only, what if I got redundant? What if I don't have a job next day? I need to have the skills or have something that I work on the side. And the bit that we've talked about, the community, and that it's not only a separate program by itself, but you're going to have access to the BEC community, you're going to have access to the Black Pound Project community, you're going to have access to the British Bank expertise, and it's an ongoing thing. So we won't finish the program and say goodbye. No, we're going to be directing you to keep going with that journey. Thank you so much, guys, Ryan, CJ, for joining us today, and looking forward to kick off with this project and to catch up again in another call to go through. And maybe next time we have someone from who are in the project with us, who went through the program, and it's going to be nice to reflect on it, and looking forward for more.
That'd be great.
Yep. Have a nice week, everyone, and thank you for watching. Those who are watching us, thank you, CJ and Ryan, again, and see you later.
Amazing.
Bye.
Cheers, man.
Cheers. See you. Bye.